What kind of swimming pool do I have? I mean, it sounds like such a straightforward question. Let's see if I can show a little bit why this is actually a pretty common question and something that's pretty confusing, not really straightforward or intuitive. So let's start at the very top. There are three main kinds of swimming pools. You have concrete swimming pools, you have vinyl liner swimming pools, and you have fiberglass swimming pools. Now, there are others and some that kind of blur the lines between two or more styles, but largely most swimming pools are going to fall into that category. You could potentially have something like a natural swimming pool or a homemade swimming pool, and these would again kind of fall outside of the realm of the main three categories, but probably you have a concrete pool, a vinyl liner pool, or a fiberglass swimming pool. So we'll kind of start from there and break it down a little further. The first one is concrete pools. Right away, you have concrete pools, or you have tile pools, plaster pools, gunite pools, shotcrete pools. These are all terms that you'll hear. And I mean, most of them are misapplied, and they all apply to concrete swimming pools. And that's kind of the important takeaway there, is that all of those are forms of concrete swimming pools. And some of them are describing the interior finish. Some of them are describing the method at which the concrete is applied. Like a shotcrete or gunite is kind of like a shoulder mounted concrete cannon versus cast concrete or block wall pools. These are all concrete swimming pools or forms of concrete swimming pools. And so right away you can see, just in the world of concrete pools alone, holy heck, that sounded pretty complicated. And, it is kind of a little bit. And especially to the average homeowner who likely doesn't know the first thing about swimming pools, everything I just said sounded confusing as all heck, but that's what it is. That's what swimming pools are. So let's move along, because we've only touched on the very first one, which is to say concrete pools. There are a load of vinyl liner swimming pools out there. I mean, they're just so common because they are the entry level into the swimming pool market. First of all, above ground pools are like 99.9% vinyl liner pools. Entry level in terms of cost, in-ground swimming pools are almost entirely vinyl liner swimming pools. So again, they dominate that market. And I mean, you'd better believe there's a lot of people out there that want a swimming pool, but can't necessarily afford one or struggle to afford one, but that's something they really want. So they make the investment. Likely they're buying a vinyl liner pool because a concrete pool is probably too expensive. And even a fiberglass pool, which is the third style that I'm about to talk about, it would even be probably too much money for people reaching with a budget, because pools are punishingly expensive these days. What a luxury to have one, but you definitely pay for that luxury. So the third style, as I mentioned, are fiberglass swimming pools, which essentially is just like a one-piece fiberglass boat hull that gets delivered to your house and dropped into the ground all in one shot. And so those are the three main styles. And as you saw already, it was already pretty complicated. But it gets even more complicated because then you have some people, like you might ask somebody, oh, hey, what kind of swimming pool do you have? And they say, oh, I have a saltwater swimming pool. Well, they've described one of the features that their swimming pool has, but they could have a fiberglass pool, or it could be a concrete pool or vinyl liner. You don't know. They just said that they have a saltwater pool. And so kind of misidentifying the swimming pool based on attributes that it has or peripheral items that have been installed is another way in which it gets confusing for people to know what kind of swimming pool I have. And if I've gotten this far on the list and you haven't heard your swimming pool type yet, you probably have a hybrid swimming pool, because they're uncommon enough and kind of like an older antiquated building style for the most part. So there's older ones that exist in the market, and largely you struggle to find information on these. A hybrid swimming pool usually has a concrete floor, but the walls aren't concrete, because then it would be a concrete pool of some sort. Instead, the walls are fiberglass or resin or a steel wall kit of some kind. And then the walls are finished with a paint. Actually, usually the whole pool is usually finished with some sort of paint product. And that is a hybrid swimming pool. And you'll have upkeep items like, seams where the wall panels come together will have some sort of urethane or silicone sealant, sealing those two wall pieces together. And if you don't maintain that, then you'll start to develop leaks and the walls will start to shift and move around. And hybrid pools are definitely not common, but they are out there. So that's, if I've gotten, as I said, this far and I didn't touch on the type of pool you have, you probably have some sort of hybrid pool. But there's more. I mean, I'm not done yet. We haven't even talked about stainless steel swimming pools, or there's some kinds that use stainless steel wall panels, but it's had a PVC membrane like permanently attached to it. And I mean, again, we haven't talked about temporary pools. So it started as such a simple question: what kind of swimming pool do I have? And it ended up getting pretty confusing. And you can see now why the average person might struggle with this. So you just start at the top and try to figure out, is it a concrete pool? Maybe that has tile, maybe it has plaster, maybe it has pebble, something like that. Or maybe you have a vinyl liner pool. Then you can tell because a vinyl liner pool has a liner in the pool. People get confused because if you take the liner out, you see a lot of concrete and you might think, oh, do I have a concrete pool? No, if it has a vinyl liner in it that retains the water, you have a vinyl liner swimming pool. And then, of course, the boat hull of the swimming pool industry, which is the fiberglass swimming pool, the one-piece construction that drops in place. And likely you have one of those three styles. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.